So I know that you're an award-winning producer. So tell me where your love of production and becoming a producer came from.
I am just a person that always has to have a creative outlet. That's just something that helps me stay calm and stay sane. And so when I'm not in front of the camera or I'm not acting, then I want to be putting productions together and creating and directing and things like that. And a lot of it was just, I always have so many ideas in my head, and I see things in scenes. Like this right now would be a scene in my head, you know? And so I'm like, you know, I want to bring that to life now. I want to just get everything out of my head and onto, you know, some type of production on the screen. So it's just something that helps me get my creative fix, you know. So I love, it's hard. It's not something, I'd rather act and direct first and then produce, because there's a lot of red tape and a lot of things you have to deal with. But it's all part of the process. It's all creative, and I love it.
Yeah. So. And you have your own production company, PH Productions. So tell me a little bit about that.
PH Productions, which stands for Peats, my business partner, Alisha Peats, her last name, Hester, my last name, Peats Hester Productions. We started it like a couple years after Redwood, because we would just sit around and talk for hours about all the things we wanted to do. And then we were just coming off of the success of Redwood, and we're like, hey, we're kind of good at this. Like, even though we're novices, and, you know, Redwood was our first production, we're like, you know, I think we should just do our own stuff. Yeah. That makes sense. You know, instead of like waiting for projects to come to you, you're like, you know, I don't want to wait. Not when we have the know-how, we have the equipment, like, and what we don't know how to do, we'll just learn it. We'll teach ourselves. And so we just decided to finally put it together and make a production company, and we've just been making shorts and films ever since. So
see, people, you don't always have to wait for someone to give you something. You can create your own stuff.
Exactly. Right? Don't wait for anybody. It's your life. Like, it's your time. Do it.
Yes.
So
now that you guys have that company, you and Alisha, what is the creation process now when you're trying to come up with a series? You guys are putting ideas together. What's that like?
It's almost like having like a giant sleepover. You know, girls get together and you just chat and you just talk about things, and we'll talk about our ideas, but a lot of it is trying to figure out how to do something without having a big multi-million-dollar budget, you know. So we'll sit down and brainstorm, like, what locations do we have access to, what other actors or other equipment do we have access to, like, and then that'll kind of help curve like what production we want to start, and then we'll just kind of go from there. But really, a lot of the conversations start with like me calling Alisha and be like, you know what, I kind of want to play like a really crazy person, like someone that just doesn't care, like completely uninhibited. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, but I want to be a villain. She's like, okay. And she just, like, I can give her an idea, and she's a great writer, and she just makes it happen. She understands my crazy, and so we just kind of, we're yin and yang. Like, we just work really well with each other, and we just go from there. Then we just shoot it and see what happens.
It sounds like the perfect pairing to me.
It is. I'm very thankful for her. She's amazing, and she's the more like technical part. Like, she's really good with cameras and equipment. I'm kind of technically challenged, and I'm learning, but she teaches me. But I like love the directing, and I'm on that side of the curve. So. But we work really well together.
So when you're producing or directing a piece, how do you keep those hats separate from the actress hat?
It's really hard. It's, you know, we're a two-woman crew. A lot of the stuff that you see, we are wearing multiple hats at one time. And so a lot of the times we try to not have a person act and like produce or act and direct it in the same project. So if I know that she's acting that day, I'm like, I need you to just focus on being an acting. I got everything behind here. I just need you to focus on that, because that's one of the things as an actor, you don't want to like look back at a scene that you did and be like, man, like I wasn't there at all, because I was thinking about like, is the lighting right? Or did we get the sound right? Or it's a lot. So but when we do get to have a crew and we get to focus, it's amazing, because you can dedicate all of yourself to that hat that you're wearing or that title, and then you get to really explore and you get to play, and I think that helps you learn.
Yeah.